happening a day after President Biden called on Congress to suspend the federal gas tax for at least 3 months as a way of helping drivers. ABC News Chief White House correspondent Cecilia Vega with more on the response so far.
Many Republicans dismiss it as a gimmick ahead of the midterms, and even some Democrats are skeptical. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi concerned oil companies more than consumers could benefit, and many economists agree. Senator Mark Warner saying he's hesitant.
It's easy to take away a tax. It's hard to put one back on.
On Capitol Hill today, another hearing for the Select Committee investigating the January 6th insurrection. ABC News congressional correspondent Rachel Scott.
The committee will try to make the case that former President Donald Trump was behind a dangerous plot to corrupt the top law enforcement body in the nation, pushing officials to try and overturn the 2020 election. Today, the committee will be hearing from witnesses who resisted those calls, including former acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen, former acting Deputy Attorney General Richard Donahue, and former Assistant Attorney General Stephen Engel.
The Senate bipartisan group working on gun safety measures will hold another procedural vote today. Some parents of first graders killed in the Sandy Hook shooting applaud the legislation. Nicole Hockley lost her son Dylan.
It's taken too long to get here. Thousands of people have died. Tens of thousands of people have died along the way. But at least we're here, and that's going to save lives going forward and have some meaning.
A final vote in the Senate is expected to come tomorrow. In Uvalde, Texas, School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo has been placed on administrative leave. He has come under intense criticism for his handling of the school massacre, and he is still a member of the Uvalde City Council. The Supreme Court will hand down more decisions today. They could include rulings on the right to carry concealed weapons and the right to an abortion. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681.
European Union leaders start a two-day meeting today in Brussels. At the top of the agenda, considering making Ukraine a candidate for membership. In a few days, NATO leaders gather in Spain amid bids by Finland and Sweden to join, their applications prompted by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Digging by hand in parts of eastern Afghanistan after an earthquake that killed at least 1,000 people. More from ABC's Tom Rivers at the Foreign Desk.
The quake, the deadliest in the country in 2 decades. More misery as millions already face increasing hunger and poverty since the Taliban reclaimed power amid the chaotic U.S. withdrawal. Mohammed Gholam Sorwar from the group Islamic Relief.
They need food support, they need shelter support, they need clean drinking water support, and definitely they need also longer-term support for recovery.
He says his team members on the ground will start distributing food aid first over the first few days, but it's unclear how long they can continue to provide daily rations after that. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the Foreign Desk.
The World Health Organization today is convening an emergency committee to consider if monkeypox should be declared a global emergency. And pretty soon, Alexa may be able to do impressions. Developers have shown a feature that allows the digital assistant to mimic a voice after hearing it for less than a minute. If the feature rolls out, it could let you have Alexa sound like a celebrity or a relative. This is ABC News.
Whether you're working in an office or remote, Staples has your tech.
New AirPods so I can turn up the music and tune out distractions.
Staples has your tech.
A Wi-Fi extender for faster downloads?
A portable keyboard so I can work from anywhere.
Staples has you covered with tech solutions and accessories, from the latest laptops to networking solutions. And now Apple AirPods Pro are just $199. You save $50. The latest tech solutions are at Staples, the working and learning store. N625 limit 2 while supplies last.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Our ridge of high pressure that brought our very hot weather yesterday has backed off, so less heat in the coming days. It'll still feel like summer, but not as oppressive as yesterday. Highs later today in the upper 80s to low 90s. Humid as well, and a slight chance for shower or storm, especially in our southern counties. Tonight, an early evening shower or storm in our southern counties, partly cloudy otherwise, the low in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, not as warm, highs in the mid-80s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning again, everyone. It's 8:05, and our temperature reading 73 degrees here on this Thursday morning, warming up here in Rutherfordton to about 95 with light wind. There may be one of those pop-up showers this afternoon with some thunder and lightning, maybe some rain, and we could use the rain, but they can leave off the thunder and lightning, I think. I think it'll be just fine, but we'll take whatever comes. Again, right now, 73 degrees. And I got news from here and there in just a moment.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
Some stories from here and there. Fox Carolina is reporting that a man was arrested after breaking into a fire department and church, according to the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office. They said, according to deputies, a call came in for a breaking and entering in progress at Freeman's store on Bostic Sunshine Highway. Once at the scene, deputies received a call about a disturbance at Cherry Mountain Fire Department. Deputies said the Sheriff's Office said the caller said someone was busting out the windows at the fire department and provided a description of the suspect. Deputies arrived at the scene but found no one inside. They then went to check other businesses, including Cooper Springs Congregational Holiness Church. Deputies said they found 38-year-old Matthew Battle inside the church, and he matched the description the caller gave of the suspect. Battle was charged with breaking and entering a place of worship, breaking and entering, and larceny after breaking and entering, break or entering a motor vehicle, break and entering a trailer, attempted breaking and entering a building, injury to personal property, and injury to real property. He is currently being held in the slammer on a $31,000 secured bond. That story from Fox Carolina. Also, there has been an outpouring of support in the Spartanburg County community for a 25-year-old sheriff's deputy who was shot and killed in the line of duty. Deputy Austin Derek Aldridge was ambushed while responding to a domestic call Tuesday afternoon, according to the Spartanburg County Sheriff's Office. On Wednesday, the department placed Aldridge's patrol unit outside the office for community members to pay their respects. This unit is now covered with flowers, candles, and flags. Spartanburg County Sheriff Chuck Wright said, "Grief is the process you pay when you love somebody. I'm just going to pay it." A prayer vigil was held Wednesday afternoon, and community members, local pastors, and law enforcement personnel joined. Spartanburg resident Peggy Settle said, "I just wanted to let it be known that the Blue is supported in this community. I wanted to show my respect." Aldridge was shot about 3:20 p.m. as he approached a home on the Oak Forest subdivision in Spartanburg County. He passed away about 9:26 Tuesday. Resident Robin Moore said, "It's just devastating. He was good in trying to protect his community." Lieutenant Kevin Bobo said the 25-year-old Aldridge had been with the department for 3 years. "Ain't nobody perfect," Wright said, "but I promise you if I could hire 100 more just like him, I'd do it right now." So respects are going out to that young police officer who, again, doing his duty, lost his life. They tell me domestic situations are the most dangerous for police officers to encounter. That's why we should continue to support them and keep them in our thoughts and prayers all the time, because they have a dangerous job out there, putting their lives on the line for us. And then some yahoo comes along and takes it away. 9 minutes after 8 o'clock, local news. Rutherford Regional Health System announces the retirement of Dr. Frank Mooring after providing over 30 years of service to the hospital, his patients, and to the community. The article in the Daily Courier said Dr. Mooring grew up in Rutherford County, having moved to Rutherford in 1961 when his father, Dr. Stuart Mooring, became the first radiologist at what was then Rutherford Hospital. From an early age, he knew he wanted to be a physician. Although he initially aspired to become a veterinarian due to his love of animals, it was during high school, while working summers in the radiology department, that he realized his calling was to be a medical doctor. After 15 years of school, Mooring returned home in 1988 to join Rutherford Radiological Associates. During his 34 years of practice, he was instrumental in bringing magnetic resonance imaging, the MRI, nuclear cardiology, prostate ultrasound, and others to this area. As a general radiologist, Mooring practiced in all facets of radiology, but his areas of special interest were interventional radiology and breast imaging. It was these areas that allowed him to leave the light box computer monitor to interact one-on-one with patients, something he enjoyed especially. So he is retiring after 30 years of service. Congratulations, Dr. Mooring. Well, a new animal shelter is on tap for Rutherford County, according to Scott Carpenter, an article in the Courier. Officials say the current shelter, located at 578 Laurel Hill Drive, Rutherfordton, should have already been replaced, but now funding is finally available thanks to the decision by county government approved by Rutherford County Commissioners to include this project among the capital projects that will be funded by the Federal American Rescue Plan Act funds. The new facility will be located on county-owned property near the current shelter and has a budget of $3.5 million. James Kilgo, who heads the Animal Control Services as well as the Solid Waste Department, believes a new facility will be better for the animals, more user-friendly for the public, and a better environment for the county employees and volunteers who work at the facility. The new facility will be more efficient and our capacity will increase, Kilgo said. As of Tuesday, the shelter was housing 54 dogs and 61 cats. We're full right now, he said. The animal shelter is nearly 50 years old and consists of a cluster of buildings with very limited parking. The shelter is regulated by the state and meets state requirements, though each month there are some instances of euthanasia for seriously injured animals, those with serious illness, or those who are deemed unadoptable because of being severely aggressive. The instances are down dramatically from previous years. We have a better than 90% live release rate, Kilgo said, a number that continues to improve. So let's adopt those pets as we can. According to Steve Garrison, county officials have been working with an architectural firm to draft conceptual drawings of the new facility. Now that funding is in place, the next stop is creating blueprints. Well, a story we mentioned the other day, but the Daily Courier is expounding on it. The Spindale Town Council rejected the idea of expanding the hours when customers may legally purchase alcoholic beverages in bars and restaurants. The proposal came before the Spindale officials at their meeting Monday night. Alcohol sales on Sunday cannot take place before noon in Spindale. Recently, other towns have revisited the local ordinance because several years ago, NC General Statute began allowing municipalities to adopt local ordinances permitting the sale to begin at 10 a.m. Rutherfordton and Forest City made the change, allowing the early sales. At council meetings earlier this month, local businesses had requested the change. Officials said local town managers worked together to craft the sample ordinance that Rutherfordton, Spindale, and Forest City could use if their councils approved the measure in order to keep local alcohol consumption laws uniform across the three towns. Spindale Mayor Mickey Bland said previously that the towns had informally agreed to work together years ago to coordinate local ordinances regarding alcohol sales, though each town's board has the final say. One county resident who described himself as one who previously abused alcohol spoke before the board and was against the measure to expand alcohol consumption hours. After town manager Scott Weber presented the ordinance for the board to consider, the proposal died from a lack of motion. Bland said Tuesday, I believe one reason that the board made its decision to not act on the matter is that no business in Spindale has asked for the change. Two hours earlier, I mean, come on. If you can't wait till 12 o'clock to have a drink, then you got a problem, I think. I don't know. But it seemed like we ought to honor those who believe in the Sabbath and believe in Sunday school and worship hour, and at least not be on the streets publicly with beer cans everywhere, seems to me, but I don't live in the towns. We have some officials from the Owls organization coming to the studio to talk about some things. They've got some things coming up, and they want you to know more about it. They'll talk a little bit about the season, how they're doing so far, and how they're not doing so far. This sports note, this past weekend, June 18th through 19th, Rutherford County girls 10 and under softball team competed in the District 1 tournament for a chance to advance to the state finals tournament. Coach Jason Harden said the girls have worked and fought hard, and they showed that on the field Saturday and Sunday. June the 18th, the girls defeated McDowell 28-7, ended the game in a mercy rule after just 3 innings of play. McDowell's made a run in the losers brackets, so Forest City girls had to play them again in the championship on Sunday. Forest City again won by mercy rule over McDowell, 15-5 in 4 innings. As a result, Forest City became the District 1 champions. The girls advanced to compete in the state finals on July 9th in Henderson County. Congratulations, Rutherford County girls. 16 minutes after the hour, the Sheriff's Report with Sheriff Francis coming up here in just a moment.
There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117.
I don't know where you're planning on having breakfast this morning, maybe at home or somewhere else. Why don't you consider going to Scrappy's Food and Fuel down 221 in Chase High Road there in the intersection? You'll be pleased with your choice. I recommend Scrappy's Food and Fuel at the intersection of 221 and Chase High Road. Start your day with a full breakfast. They have those handmade cat head biscuits. You know about those, don't you? Those of you who love breakfast, they're making those. They start making them early, and they stay fresh and hot. They have ham, sausage, delicious coffee, and much more. Now Scrappy's Food and Fuel always sells a lot of their mouth-watering hamburgers throughout the day and hot dogs, hand-breaded chicken tenders, and onion rings. And you'll love their homemade chicken salad. I had some of that the other day, and man, was that good. And homemade pasta salad, you'll love that too. Chicken wings and so much more. Scrappy's Cafe is open 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day except Sunday. The store is open 6 a.m. until 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, Saturdays 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. And now Scrappy's Food and Fuel is opening on Sundays from 9 till 6, but the cafe is not opening on Sunday. It's closed on Sunday. Do yourself a favor. Do your belly a favor. Do business with our friends at Scrappy's Food and Fuel on the corner of Chase High Road and Highway 221. I've really grown to be friends with these folks, and I think you will too. Locally owned and locally operated. We need to support them because they're turning out good food, and it's a shame for you not to enjoy that great food there at Scrappy's. Down 221, Chase High Road, there in the intersection just below Floyd's Creek Baptist Church. But Braves baseball is an afternoon game in the hot of the day. 11:05 we'll join them. Right after we do the obits, we'll join the Braves against the Giants. Now, they beat them last night, Braves 4, Giants 3, and we'll see if they can do that again in the heat of the day. It's going to be hot, playing at noontime, but they've done it before, and they'll do it some more. Let's see how they do today. Right now, Sheriff Chris Francis did the report for us earlier. We recorded it for broadcast at this time. Sheriff Francis.
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 179 calls for service. There have been 5 arrests processed at the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 188. Among those arrested, Roger Guy Leeds, a 62-year-old male of Union Mills, was charged with injury to property and received a written promise to appear. On Paul Roberts, 45-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with 3 counts of failure to appear and received a $1,500 secured bond. Joshua Dwayne Airwood, 32-year-old male of Boston, was charged with failure to appear and received a $500 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a lost or stolen tag, Cliffside Street in Mooresboro. It was North Carolina Independent Dealer Tag, 135839. We also had a lost on W.V. Thompson Road. It was a Cub Cadet riding mower valued at $6,000 taken, as well as a Husqvarna mower, 42-inch, valued at $4,000, and a 3x4 lawnmower yard dump trailer valued at $200 taken in that incident. We also had a B&E to an outbuilding in Garden Brook Drive. Nothing appears to be missing. The owner scared the suspect. It was a B&E in progress, and the suspect fled on a four-wheeler, but it doesn't appear that he had taken anything because he was scared by the owner in that incident. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Thank you, Sheriff Chris Francis, for that report. I gave you the story a while ago about Rutherford County getting a new animal shelter. Here's a story. It doesn't relate to Rutherford County, or I hope it doesn't. If it does, you let me know. But if you believe in the Second Amendment and the right it provides you to purchase a gun, then you have lost your eligibility to adopt a pet from this liberal animal shelter in Thousand Oaks, California. Well, you'd know it come from California, right? The Shelter Hope Pet Shop made a statement that was posted on its webpage in May. Here's what it said. We do not support those who believe that the Second Amendment gives them the right to buy assault weapons. If your beliefs are not in line with ours, we will not adopt a pet to you. Our community of Thousand Oaks became part of all the other cities in America, now scarred with the reputation of a mass killing. The shooter that killed 12 innocent humans at the Borderline Bar came to our shop for community service hours. We believe he had scouted many other locations, and we were one of them. We changed our policy about volunteering after that incident, but now we feel competent to go even further than that. If you, the requirement may seem ridiculous, but you read it correctly. This woke shelter is using the Second Amendment as an excuse to prohibit people from adopting animals. Here's what Karen Seal, the owner of the Shelter Pet Shop, said. If you hesitate because your core belief is that you believe teachers need to carry firearms, then you will not get approved to adopt from us. If you foster for us and believe in guns, please bring our dogs and our cats back, and we will arrange to have them picked up. What kind of threat is that, huh? So, in other words, if you have a gun, you believe in the Second Amendment, you adopt from them, and they know it, they'll come get your dog or your cat. Or they won't let you adopt. They won't let you drop one off for adoption. Is that America? I don't think so. Kim Sill, who is the owner of the Shelter Hope Pet Shop in Thousand Oaks, outside of your beliefs on gun control, other requirements put in place by the shelter includes being at least 25 years old and having a current driver's license. The Shelter Hope Pet Shop will also inspect the living arrangements of the applicants to see if they'll provide a safe and loving environment for their animals, which presumably includes making sure they pass the gun stance background checks. If you believe in the Second Amendment, don't come to us to adopt a pet. In fact, the shelter asserted, if you lie about being a National Rifle Association supporter, make no mistake, we will sue you for fraud. So that's pretty obvious where they stand. And I'll bet you $1 to a donut, the same woman who runs this pet shop is all for abortion of babies, all for killing babies. It's a woman's right to choose, but it's not the individual's right to own a gun and adopt a pet. If you got a gun, then you must be an evil character, so we're not going to let you have one of our dogs or cats. But if you want to kill a baby in the mother's womb, go right ahead. That's your choice. Now, how lopsided is that? Shelter Hope Pet Shop has added a question to the adoption interview. Where do you stand on gun control? We believe that if we can make our voices heard on how we feel, we can make an impact. We do not support those who believe that the Second Amendment gives them the right to buy assault weapons. If your beliefs are not in line with ours, we will not adopt a pet to you. Our community became part of all cities in America, now scarred with the reputation of mass killer. It takes at least 1 hour to interview someone that wants to adopt a dog at the shelter. You must be 25 and you must provide us with a current driver's license. If you don't own your home, we will need to speak with your landlord, and we require you agree to let us come to your home for a physical inspection. If you lie about being an NRA supporter, make no mistake, we will sue you for fraud. If you believe that it is our responsibility to protect ourselves in public places and arm ourselves with a gun, do not come to us to adopt a dog. We have a choice of who we work with. Shelter Hope chooses to work with only like-minded humans. See it our way or no way. See it our way or the highway. That's the California way of thinking. I'm glad I live in the South, aren't you? Sports Update is next, right here on WCAB.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Nazem Kadri scored at 12:02 of overtime, and the Avalanche beat the Lightning 3-2 in overtime of Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals last night to move within a win of dethroning the two-time defending champions. Playing for the first time since June 4th because of a thumb injury, Kadri skated in on Andrei Vasilevsky and slipped a shot under the goaltender's arm to give Colorado a 3-1 series lead. There was some confusion, though, on the game winner because the puck disappeared.
Here comes Kadri shooting. It's in. And it's in, or is it? Where is it? Does Vasilevsky have it? No, it's in. It's in the back of the net.
The puck got stuck at the top of the net under the webbing and the rear crossbar. Lightning coach John Cooper was sullen in his brief post-game remarks. He doesn't think the goal should have counted.
You're going to see what I mean when you see the winning goal. And my heart breaks for the players because we probably still should be playing.
Word is Cooper believed there were too many Avs players on the ice when the winning goal was scored. It may have looked that way because the Avs caught the Lightning on a change and Kadri slipped by. Game 5 is Friday night in Denver. Former Hurricanes coach Paul Maurice and the Florida Panthers have finalized a deal to make him the club's next coach. He'll replace Panthers interim coach Andrew Brunette. He most recently, Maurice, was coaching in Winnipeg before he stepped down there in December. Hornets owner Michael Jordan has resumed the search for the organization's next coach after Warriors assistant Kenny Atkinson said thanks but no thanks to a 4-year deal that he agreed on, then reneged on. Charlotte GM Mitch Kupchak is expected to make the final decisions with input from Jordan on the 13th and 15th selections. Kupchak also dismissed rumors that the team is considering a deal that would include shipping off Miles Bridges.
We made the playoff with a play-in game, so that's technically right, not the playoffs, so I think we fell a little bit short. But next year, we want to make a similar improvement. Whether that means, 3 wins or 5 wins or 7 wins, I don't know. We have a lot of work to do during the offseason.
The Hornets have 2 picks in the first round of tonight's draft. This is NCN Sports.
On land, Dad belting out classic rock using his flip-flop for a mic with intermittent air guitaring would be described as so embarrassing. Dad, and I just can't.
Oh, yeah!
However, on a boat, it's just Dad being Dad and actually sort of funny.
Rockin' on the boat!
That's why it's crucial Dad saved by bundling his boat insurance with Geico. Savings means more gas money and boating out on the water. The place where Dad is actually sort of funny.
Thank you, Lake Hamilton!
Geico for your boat. Bundle and save even more.
NC Green Power is a nonprofit promoting a cleaner energy future through its Solar Plus Schools grant program. Recipient schools receive a 5-kilowatt solar array with a weather station, a STEM curriculum, and training for teachers. Having already impacted 56 schools throughout our state, they hope to award at least 1 school in all 100 counties. You can help make this possible by supporting Solar Plus Schools today. Visit ncgreenpower.org to learn more and to donate to support K-12 STEM education. ncgreenpower.org.
The U.S. House Committee says Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder conducted a shadow investigation that sought to discredit former employees making accusations of workplace sexual harassment. The committee is investigating the team's workplace culture following accusations of pervasive sexual harassment by team executives of women employees. Tony Siragusa, the charismatic defensive tackle who helped lead the stout Baltimore defense to a Super Bowl title, has died at the age of 55. There's no word on a cause. Known as the Goose, Siragusa played 7 seasons with the Colts and 5 with the Ravens, the latter team winning the 2000 Super Bowl behind a defense that included Siragusa, Ray Lewis, and Sam Adams. Then Baltimore Ravens linebacker Jalen Ferguson, also dead at the age of 26. Police say the cause of death is still to be determined, but foul play is not suspected.
Our ridge of high pressure that brought our very hot weather yesterday has backed off, so less heat in the coming days. It'll still feel like summer, but not as oppressive as yesterday. Highs later today in the upper 80s to low 90s. Humid as well, and a slight chance for shower or storm, especially in our southern counties. Tonight, an early evening shower or storm in our southern counties, partly cloudy otherwise, the low in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, not as warm, highs in the mid-80s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
75 degrees currently here on the Foothills Leading Information Center, 75 degrees, and warming up to about 95 before it's all over with, and maybe a shower of rain this afternoon. We'll wait and see what happens. We got guests in the studio. I'll tell you who that is in just a moment.
Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID Rapid-19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is offering the flu vaccines. You can walk in Monday through Friday or by appointment only on Saturdays. The Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers, if you need assistance registering your recall devices, you can call the Home Medical Department at 245-4591. And Smith's Drugs has a large selection of in-stock mastectomy bras, now half price. So come by our Home Equipment Department on West Main Street in Forest City. Smith's Drugs, 245-4591. Sign-up forms are now available for the Meet Me at the Fountain 5K race to be held on Saturday, July the 23rd. Go to smithsdrugsfc.com.
We're always happy to keep you updated and posted on the activities around the Owls team and what's happening at McNair Field during this season. And with us in the studio right now is Jacob Brown and Rory Tatamir. Did I pronounce that right? We're happy to have both of you here in the studio with us to talk a little bit about the first of all, let's talk about how the Braves have done so far. They got to shape up a little bit so far, you think? How are they doing?
Yeah, well, the Owls have been better of late. They have a lot of hitters that are starting to get hot. Will Butcher just hit his second home run of the season. He leads the team, and he's a familiar name from last season for the Owls. He led the team with 5 home runs. Hank Dodson from last year just hit his first home run of the season, and then you have multiple players with double-digit RBIs, and Brett Porthen as well just won CPL line of the night. So a lot of players starting to do a lot better, and as we head into the second half.
Why do you sound like a radio broadcaster?
Well, I've done radio shows at college before, and I guess it's just something I've done before. So
now, the next game is when, tonight?
Tonight, yeah, we play the Martinsville Mustangs tonight at 7:00, and so that'll be a lot of fun.
So exciting games coming up in events. Tell us a little bit about that. Who wants to tell us about that?
Yeah, well, on Saturday, we have our first exciting game. It's going to be an exhibition against Catawba Valley, but after, we'll have fan favorite band, the Rutherford County Line, play after the game. Then we're also going to have a player auction go on after the game, so that should be fun, as well as a Rutherford County Outlaws jersey, one of our jerseys from last year. We'll be selling a lot of those jerseys after the game. They'll be auctioned off, so that's the first big event coming up. And then I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, then we got the Savannah Bananas coming up Monday night. The Owls beat them 6-3 in the first time that they came here last month. They're hoping to do it a second time then, and then also on July 2nd against the High Point Thomasville High Toms, there will be fireworks night for the Owls, so that'll be the second fireworks night of the season. So hopefully you guys can come out for that.
How's the team, like injuries? Do we have any injuries going into this next part?
Right now, nobody's injured, but we do have some players that are going to be departing the team soon, like Dalton Hodge has been one of the better players for the team. But we also have some coming in as well. Don't want to say it yet, but there are some players that will be coming as well.
Have all the college players that were held over for postseason, are they here now, ones that are coming?
Yes.
Yeah, no, all the players that were playing in tournaments, they should all be here now, and then I believe we're just waiting on one arrival of another player. I think I could say, Cam Fisher, returning from last year, the leading hitter last year, so he's expected to come very shortly, and we should be expecting him maybe even today.
Yeah. How's the attendance been?
Attendance has been good. We're seeing fans come out, and it's been great to see, and especially the Savannah game last month where it was a sellout crowd, 1,700 plus showed up to the ballpark, so hoping for that same crowd against Savannah Monday night, tonight as well, and then on Saturday night as well with the Rutherford County Line coming out. So a lot of big stuff happening at McNair Field.
So Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
They that was the biggest crowd that McNair Field has had since COVID.
Really?
Yeah.
What brought them in? The fact that they were playing against the Bananas?
Yep.
I think so, and they got treated to a victory. So 6-3, it was a lot of fun. It was the first home win of the season. And, it's also the spectacle of the Bananas as well. They have an ESPN Plus show coming out, so there's a lot of spotlight around them.
So they're pretty well popular now and then.
Oh, yeah. The Savannah Bananas, they get like 4,000 every game.
Really?
At their stadium. But we won't be going there, but they're coming to us, and yeah, we do get a lot of people just coming in waiting to see banana ball is really what they go. But you don't see that here in the CPL. They don't do any dancing away from their homes. They won't come over to McNair and dance on us. So just got to say that.
So they're like celebrities within their own right then, I guess.
Yeah.
Like celebrities,
Yep.
What are you finding most interesting about the season? Any exciting things happen that you didn't anticipate?
Well, I mean, it's just been fun following a team day to day, going on the road with them, and just seeing the development of the players from the first game of the season where you didn't have the full roster, and as you go game to game, you kind of see it get filled out. So just to see that process of how a team goes from where they start at the beginning of the season to where they are now, that's been a lot of fun for me.
I mean, also, we're witnessing, he wasn't here for the entire first half, but we're going to the end of the first half. We still have a player hitting above 500. That's Dylan Costa, and he's really been lighting it up for the Owls. Second baseman, and he's playing really well. So, I mean, that's a storyline throughout as we go into the second half. Will he stay above 500? I mean, obviously, it's a pace that's you really can't hold, but we'll see what he does. He's doing it right now, and he's really playing well.
Been pretty fortunate so far. We have not had a rain out yet. Have one rain out? Or any?
No, we haven't. We were actually on the road in High Point last week. There was a 3-hour rain delay, but we didn't get it rained out. It was supposed to be a doubleheader. They turned it into one game, but thankfully not because,
don't jinx me, don't you?
Yeah, we don't want to say it, but, when there's rain delays at McNair, Rory and I kind of have to join in the on-field entertainment, which is not our forte, but no rain delays yet.
I bet you could do that, though.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
So how many more home games are the rest of the season?
Ooh, I mean, the second half's coming up. I don't know the exact number, but there's a lot. I mean, it's probably, 12 to 15 more home games?
Yeah, you expect 48 games, 24 home games in the whole season. You got to expect about 12 coming up in the second half.
Do the team ever member of the team? Do they travel? Or some of them sit some of it out? Or are they with the team traveling or no travel? They're all there, right?
On occasion, you'll have the pitchers that aren't active on that particular day. They'll stay behind just to kind of save bus space, but mostly the entire team travels to every road game, and so the group's starting to get really tightly knit, and you're going to see that kind of impact the team more as the season goes on, just the gelling of the roster.
Tell us about your broadcast, how that's set up, and how folks can get involved in listening to you.
Well, you can listen to us on Flow Sports for home games. That's FLO Sports. It's on a website. It's a subscription website where you can listen to our games. You'll get the video feed. And then for our road games, we're on a service called Mixlr, MIXLR. That's only radio, no visuals for that. Most games are at 7 o'clock. If not, they're usually at 5 o'clock if it's a doubleheader, 5 to 5:30. And you can go on our social medias on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and you can find the game times there as well.
Yeah, we'll tweet out all the links to the streams on our Twitter handle at Forest City Owls. That's Forest City Owls. It's only capital words are F in the Forest, City, the C in City, and then the O in Owls. So that's our Twitter handle. You can find that on our website as well. But yeah, we'll have the links to every stream, home and away, posted on there, as well as some of our fun promos that you guys go out and watch. We try and make as many promos as we can, typically for home games, but using like wordplay with the names and stuff like that. Also themes that we're having at McNair Field. So tonight is college night, so we'll be expecting a college promo probably for the Martinsville Mustangs tonight as well.
You're both from somewhere else. How you been received here in the South?
I mean, everyone's been so welcoming. It's really been fun to connect with the community and to be able to call the Forest City Owls games for this town, and just everyone's so nice. I mean, you step out of the booth a few times a game, someone's there to want to talk to you, and it's been a really great experience so far.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel like work. I mean, we are having really long days, but they're always blending in. There's a lot of fun happening throughout the day. It's amazing what Forest City has really meant to us so far, especially as we're just here in the first half. We still got a whole second half to go, so there's a lot more fun coming.
That's good. We're a friendly community. We like to have folks like you, professionals, that make us proud that you're here. Now, the fact that you're both in the booth together, I guess, all game, does it get a little tight in there? Do you ever disagree with calls? Or have any words of argument at all?
We had one the other night on a pop-up in the infield. Was it a hit? Was it an error? But it's fun. I mean, that's sports. And, we talked to each other after the game. We're like, did we actually fight there? Was that real? And then I was like, no, it's sports. I fight with my brother, my dad all the time about sports. That's just how it is. But it was good to get that, off the table. We got that over with, but I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah, no, when you got the friendly banter going back and forth, it always makes the broadcast really well. And, I mean, we're one of the only teams that actually has two broadcasters that can really, especially go into depth with all our analysis of every play. So I think we have the best broadcast in the CPL, and I'm not going to lie about that.
Bounce it off each other. That makes a good broadcast. Now, I think I might have asked you this earlier when we first met. Both of you plan on getting into professional broadcasting sports?
Absolutely, yeah. This is something I wanted to do since I was a kid. I did it at my college. I'm doing it here, and particularly in baseball. I love baseball announcing, so that's definitely what I want to do.
And me as well, yeah. I mean, it's been the dream since you're a kid. And, I'm down to go into any sport. Obviously, baseball would be the dream, but I think we both have experience working with some other sports as well, basketball, football, and stuff like that. But, I mean, that's obviously the dream. Take Forest City and just keep going on from there throughout your career.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm sure you will do well with that because you're both very professional sounding. Quickly, one more time, wrap up for us the key things that are coming up in terms of events that people might want to be involved with and watching.
So this Saturday, Rutherford County Line coming out for the Owls Saturday night home game. Then Monday night, the Owls will be playing the Savannah Bananas at home. And then on July 2nd, there will be a fireworks night against the High Point Thomasville High Toms. And those are the biggest events coming up for the Owls.
Okay, good deal. Season tickets, I'm sure, can still be obtained by contacting the office there at the Forest City Owls. And if you guys do a good job of keeping Phil Dangle straight, then my hat's off to you.
No, we love Phil.
I'm sure he's probably listening this morning to catch that. So,
I
thanks
hope.
so much. My guests, Jacob Brown and Rory Tetterman. You can hear them on the Owls Network broadcasting the games, both home and away. And we wish the Owls on to victory. Thank you for sharing that time with us. Keep us posted on what's happening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll be back in just a moment.
Did you know that approximately 34% of women worldwide are affected by urinary incontinence? But there is good news. You don't have to suffer anymore. Brock Family Care in Forest City is excited to introduce a breakthrough treatment for urinary incontinence called BTL Emsella. All you have to do is sit on the Emsella chair for 30 minutes fully clothed, 2 times a week for 3 weeks, and your quality of life will significantly improve. Sound interesting? Then call 828-382-7282 to learn more about this amazing treatment or visit our website at www.brockfamilycare.com.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford. Gregory's Original.
I'm glad to have Jacob and Roy with us here in the studio this morning. Talk about the Owls, and we're setting up a possibility of broadcasting some of their road games when they're out of town, and so you can stay informed with them. And as we've done in the past, we hope we can get that schedule worked out with Phil and the other team there at the Owls. Because I think if you love the Owls and love baseball, as many of us do, then you want to stay in touch with them even when they're away, and we can pick up that broadcast with these two guys doing the announcing and the play-by-play statistics. So if that gets worked out, we'll let you know, and we'll have to work that schedule out around the Braves, of course, and there are many times the Braves on the road or rained out or whatever. We'll get some schedules worked out. We'll let you know. Got to get out here in a few minutes to make room for My Great America with Jim and Butch coming up top of the hour. Butch is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Already, he's not on the road today. He's right here in beautiful downtown Whiteside Road Studios for My Great America, coming up in about 20 minutes from right now. A couple of other stories, and then we'll move on out, get the rest of our voices a little bit. So what do you think about this? To me, it's disgusting, but some things disgust me that may not disgust you. It's out of the WorldNet Daily News team from Columbus, Ohio. Cops introduced their LGBTQIA+ liaison officer and Pride cruiser. I kid you not, folks. I have a picture where the police in Columbus, Ohio, are debuting their new Pride cruiser. The police department there in Columbus has unveiled a new LGBTQIA+ liaison officer and a Pride cruiser in recognition of the decision by the community of alternative sexual lifestyle seekers to claim June as Pride Month. The officer in the video says, "Hi, I'm Officer Lutz with the Columbus Division of Police. I'm your LGBTQIA+ liaison officer, and we're unveiling right now our Pride cruiser for the month of June. I'm excited about this cruiser. It's great for representation." According to a report from the right, make sure to say hi to Officer Lutz when you see him out and get a photo with our Pride cruiser, it says. Well, the car has rainbow-colored emblems all over. It includes the "Love is Love" and "Report Hate Crimes" slogans. The Right Scoop's commentary explained, quote, "I think it might be time to defund the Columbus police." No, he says, "I'm just kidding, but seriously, they should defund the officer or city official that came up with this foolishness." A comment page at WeLoveTrump.com included the observation, "Oh, great, we now have a gay Gestapo now." Another said, "I'm sure armed thugs are going to drop their weapons when they see the police cruiser's Pride rainbow heart, Love is Love window decals and transgender flag bumper stickers. Oh, thugs, oh, here comes the Pride wagon. Let's drop our guns and surrender." Well, the Western Journal explained Joe Biden proclaimed June Pride Month and called for more for the LGBTQ community. But the events so far have included a Drag the Kids to Pride event in Texas that was a drag show for children. And among all U.S. senators, only one confirmed support of a ban on kid-friendly drag shows. Only one confirmed support of a ban. In the report, Senator Roger Marshall, Republican from Kansas, responded, quote, "What happened to the innocence of children? The hypersexualization and grooming of your children have become an obsession of the far left in this country," end quote. He said, quote, "Any respectful parent would never allow a child to watch, let alone participate in, pornographic drag shows. The tail has been wagging the dog for too long with this garbage, and the dog is about to bite back." That's what's happened there in Columbus, Ohio, folks. And it could happen anywhere unless you have the right people in office to protect us and the right public who's willing to step up to the plate and willing to accept some criticism and do it what's right. That's what we need more of. We need more stout-hearted Americans, stout-hearted men and women. So I know I'm going to be criticized for my stand, but I believe this is right, and I want to protect my children. I want to protect my home, and I'm going to step forward and do it. That's what we need more of. In spite of the fact we may be criticized. Sure, we all get criticized for our stands many times, but what one might say about me is not near as important. It's how I feel about our children and the future of our generation. These children growing up to be the leaders of our country, and how we train them now and how we rear them now is going to make the difference on the future of the next generation. Many of us will be gone by then, but our children and grandchildren will be under the influence of people like this particular town, this particular cop who's, "Oh, look at me, I drive a Pride police car. Don't you want to come and be arrested?" Come on, folks. The more I read of this stuff, the more I study this stuff, the more I get almost nauseated. And I do it because I want you to know about it. I don't want you to think that everything's peaches and cream. I like to bring out the positive stuff too, and we do that with My Great America with Jim and Butch. But we need to know that also there are those people fighting against us for the souls and the hearts and minds of our children, who was it? Khrushchev or one of the Russians said, "Let me have your children for the first 6 years of their life, and they'll always be a communist." So the evil one is trying his best now to get our children early on so they will always be his. Let's make a difference. We can. We got the ability to do it. We got the heart to do it. We got the mind to do it. We need to develop the courage to do it. Otherwise, we're going to be trampled under the pressure of the left saying, "Oh, it's okay. Let's everybody suck on the lollipop of the LGBTQ XYZ 10769, whatever they are." We need to be bold up. We need to bold up. All right. That's enough, Jim. All right, let's see. We got coming up here this word, and I'm going to step away and get ready for my Great America with Jim and Butch, all straight ahead.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
Thank you for making WCAB 100.9 FM and 5.
Sherry Preston. A change of leadership in Uvalde. The school district in South Texas now placed Chief Pete Arredondo on administrative leave while the actions he took during last month's mass shooting are investigated. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
Answers about the police response to the armed attack that claimed 21 lives at Robb Elementary have been hard to come by, raising the frustration level for people in Uvalde.
I just don't understand why they're being so slow with this investigation.
With much of the blame placed at the feet of Uvalde School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo.
He should never be allowed to work in law enforcement again, my personal opinion.
Now the superintendent has placed Arredondo on administrative leave. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
Protesters are starting to gather at the U.S. Supreme Court again this morning as more opinions are handed down. Among the decisions it could release, one on the right to carry concealed weapons and one that could overturn Roe v. Wade. The January 6th Select Committee holding another public hearing today. Among those testifying, former Justice Department officials, including then Acting Attorney General Jeffrey Rosen. ABC's Rachel Scott is on Capitol Hill.
Sources say Trump attempted to install his own allies at top levels of the Justice Department to assist to push his false claims. To date, the Justice Department has found no evidence to back up Trump's false claims about the 2020 election. We know they are following these hearings closely, and this morning we are learning they are broadening their investigation, issuing a new round of subpoenas.
The heads of big oil companies will be in Washington today discussing high gas prices. The White House accuses oil and gas manufacturers of holding supply back and not updating refineries.
The American Petroleum Institute blames the refinery shortage on the green energy push. Some older refineries have closed due to new environmental standards. And no new major refineries have been built in decades.
ABC's Jay O'Brien in Washington. So far, Congress has been lukewarm about President Biden's request to suspend the federal gas tax. You're listening to ABC News.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Rescued in Ukraine, an American nuclear scientist who hid for months in the midst of the Russian invasion. John Spohr was able to make it out of the besieged city of Mariupol all the way to Poland. ABC's James Longman is in Ukraine.
The team, led by American non-profit group Project Dynamo, working with local Ukrainian security. Spohr had been several years before the Russians invaded, and as Putin's forces laid siege to the city, Spohr went into hiding. Project Dynamo says Spohr was considered a high-value target because of the sensitive nature of his work, particularly in laser-guided weapon systems.
8 people now facing charges in connection with the death of a soccer legend.
Diego Maradona died of cardiac arrest in 2020 while recovering from surgery. His autopsy said he died of natural causes, but after pressure from the soccer star's family, prosecutors in Argentina began an investigation into the medical team responsible for his round-the-clock care. In 2021, a medical board found the staff has acted in a, quote, inappropriate, deficient and reckless manner. Now the 8 doctors and nurses will be tried for homicide, according to a ruling released on Wednesday. No date's been set yet for the trial, but it's not expected to begin until the end of next year at the earliest. Claire Bauer, ABC News, at the Foreign Desk in Rio de Janeiro.
And police in Atlanta investigating after someone apparently stole $100,000 in cash from the home of former NBA star Vince Carter. He told police he normally keeps the cash in his closet in a bag. This is ABC News.
70% of the Fortune 100 choose Zoom. With phone, chat, workspaces, apps, events, and video in a single platform, Zoom powers all your communications. Large enterprises, small businesses, and individuals use the secure Zoom platform to enable new ways of working, learning, hosting events, and supporting their customers. And now you can save 15% on meetings, chat, and phone with the Zoom United bundle. Visit zoom.com/bundle. Zoom, how the world connects.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Our ridge of high pressure that brought our very hot weather yesterday has backed off, so less heat in the coming days. It'll still feel like summer, but not as oppressive as yesterday. Highs later today in the upper 80s to low 90s. Humid as well, and a slight chance for shower or storm, especially in our southern counties. Tonight, an early evening shower or storm in our southern counties, partly cloudy otherwise, the low in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, not as warm, highs in the mid-80s. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
And we have 77 degrees reading down on our thermometer, warming up to about 95 today, and maybe a thunderstorm developing this afternoon. So summertime is certainly here. Braves baseball this afternoon or this morning about 11:05, so we'll join that game, 11:15 or so. It's a daytime game in the hot of the day, but we'll follow that game for you, so stand by for that.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, Butch. Welcome to My Great America with Jim and Butch in the Blue Room of WCAB.
We're in the blue room. You got a blue shirt on. I've got a blue coat on. I've got blue pants on.
Yeah.
But we're not blue.
We're not blue.
We are not blue. No, we've got a fight in us, Jim, and we need to in the day and age that we live in. Now, listen, folks, I want to make sure that you hear this from us consistently. Another reminder, the monthly official Republican Party meeting, the official Republican Party meeting is tonight. June 23rd at 6 p.m. at the RCGOP headquarters. That's at 207 North Main Street. Joining tonight, and by the way, they have hot dogs with all the fixings.
All American food.
Right, so if you found your political motivations waning a little bit, at least let your appetite lead you there so that you can get some good conversation, good fellowship, and be a part of the growing, diverse, incredibly vital, official Republican Party here in Rutherford County, serving hot dogs on all the sides. Everyone is welcome. Now, joining for tonight's meeting is NCGOP Vice Chair Susan Mills. And if you want to know a little bit about her, she's the newly elected Vice Chairwoman of the North Carolina Republican Party, lifelong North Carolina resident. She was born in Rowan County, living in Fayetteville, graduate of Appalachian State. She met her husband, Michael. They've been married 37 years. They have a daughter, Katie, who's an attorney in D.C. Susan teaches high school in Sampson County, and prior to being elected NCGOP Vice Chairwoman, she was the county chair, district vice chair, president of the North Carolina Federation of Republican Women, was actually NCGOP Vice Chairwoman before that, and in 2020, she was elected to serve on the 2020 Electoral College and cast her vote for President Trump and VP Pence. Her campaign pledge was to ace the party, activate, communicate, and engage Republican voters across North Carolina, and she is excited to take on that task now as the NCGOP Vice Chairwoman. She'll be there tonight.
Looking forward to hearing from her.
And the reason people of this caliber show up to the official Republican Party here in Rutherford County is because there is a stellar relationship that Bryson Smith has with all of the major party leadership. This particular county Republican Party is known for its diversity and also for its active engagement. You will hear Michael Whatley say, the head of the Republican Party in North Carolina, there's not a harder working group locally anywhere in the state. You can be a part of that. Everyone's welcome. Yep. Young, old, even recovered, redeemed, born again Republicans like Butch Maltby. Everyone's invited, so please come.
Even if it's you just got an hour occasionally to contribute, we'll take that hour. You don't have to give your whole life away, just an hour here and an hour there.
That's right. And you know what? When you read Scripture, everybody's got a gift.
Yes.
God gives us different gifts, abilities, and talents. Your gifts and abilities aren't mine or mine yours, Jim. And as we all work together as conservatives, as we all focus on, as Jim Bishop often says, keep the main thing, so we all focus on those conservative values that are so incredibly important to try to help rescue this nation, which is staggering like a drunken sailor these days from one side of the road to the other. Let's not get focused on petty disagreements. Let's not get in the ditch and let the ox die in the ditch through misunderstanding. If you want to know what's really going on, come down and see. Right?
There's too many good things going on to wallow in the dirt with those bad things.
Right.
Because we got so many good positive things going.
You know what I do when people throw false accusations anymore? You know what the most powerful thing in the world is? Indifference.
Yeah.
Indifference. We got too much to do. We're too busy to get involved in soap operas, and we're just not going to do that. Now, this is not a soap opera, but I remember years ago, we did have a television, and it was a little black and white television. We didn't have one until I think I was in the 7th grade. And I think in January of one year in the 7th grade, my parents got a tiny little one, and I used to watch, I did watch back in the day, the Andy Griffith Show.
Yes.
Well, I want to let you know, and you're hearing it here first, and I got permission from him. I called him up in Shelby, Aaron Ellenberg, who's running for sheriff. I called him. I said, can I go ahead and tell the My Great America with Jim and Butch listeners and viewers on YouTube what your dad just purchased? And he said, absolutely. So I want to let you know that in July, you are going to start seeing driving around the county. You know what it is? A 1964 Ford Galaxy 500 sheriff's car.
Wow.
And it's the exact replica of the vehicle that was used on the Andy Griffith program. Why? Because Jimmy Ellenberg, I guess some people know him, right?
I know him, yeah.
Does a lot of work, and he's a stand-up kind of guy. Jimmy Ellenberg drove to Bristol, Tennessee, and purchased from a 92-year-old man this sheriff's car that he had retrofitted and fixed up, and he drove it all the way home, and now he's working on the brakes and all that. So Aaron Ellenberg is going to use that as part of his campaigning between now and in November, which I just think is
neat, yes.
It would be fun to see. So I think that like the Ellenboro Fair and some other things, you'll probably see it. 1964 Ford Galaxy 500, that top, that it used to be that the sirens weren't in the grill, right?
Right.
They were right up top for you to see them.
That'll be fun to watch. That'd be fun to see it driving around the county.
Right, and you know what? Because I just wanted to know, I also went in and researched. There were 249 episodes, Jim, of the Andy Griffith Show. Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Back in the day, people liked the fact that when you did wrong, you got in trouble.
Yes.
And the good guys won.
Yes. And the father had a great influence on his son.
Right. A tremendous influence. Mentoring was taking place there.
Yes.
I mean, it was a lot of things that anymore would be perceived as not interesting, but it is of course interesting. And I also want to do something that I'm not sure that you've done on the air, but I want to do it with some passion and power. Once a year, WCAB puts out the Foothills News Journal 2022 edition, fast developing. Jim, this goes to how many homes?
20,000 homes.
20,000 homes. This is a powerful piece of promotion. If you've got a small business, a cause, a nonprofit, a message, it's not an unlimited number of spots that are here. You need to call Jim or Tracy at the station,
Yes.
and the number they call is
287-3356.
287-3356. Make sure that you are not missed in what is really sort of a local iconic publication. It goes to 20,000 homes. If you want to get your message out, call and let them know, and they'll fix you up. They'll tell you what it cost. I think even with some of the packages, you get some radio spots with it.
Yes.
So you do not want to miss this. If you have a small business and you're wondering, what can I do to give a little pulse and a little push and a little promotion? That's called alliteration, by the way. 3 P's in a row. Call the station, talk to Tracy, talk to Jim, make sure that you're included in this next edition, and they need to do that by,
I don't know, what is today? Today's the 23rd. If we could firm that up by 5th, 6th of July, because it's running out pretty fast.
Okay, it's running out fast, folks.
Running out pretty fast.
This is we're not pitching you something on QBC here. This is local, this is homegrown. And it's important.
I would say one of the things that makes that a real valuable piece for people, how it has all the school calendars in there, all the public schools, charter schools. It also has the football schedules of each team that's being played, those kind of things. And we usually try to get the leaders of the schools, the superintendents, to write a little note.
Yeah.
So it's a good back-to-school piece for parents and grandparents to have. So
Don't get me started. I'll preach a sermon.
You will preach a sermon. And you know what, Jim? I have to tell you this, and this is not hyperbolic. It's not an exaggeration. Through the years, my picture's been in a lot of different publications. I'm saying that with humility. But you have no idea how happy I was when I opened this up, and there was a picture of you and me with a little blurb on My Great America,
Yes.
Jim and Butch.
Yes.
It just made me feel like I was part of the county.
Yes.
Well, folks, let's transition here for a minute into a serious matter. I can't tell you the number of people, family members and others, who've asked me the question, Butch, what is going on in our country? What is going on? I mean, when you get to the place where you almost expect, and you're not really shocked anymore to hear about violent crimes, elderly people being assaulted, people being raped, homes being pillaged, arson taking place, folks smashing and grabbing from jewelry stores and nobody doing anything about it, defund the police movements, drag queens in kindergarten classes talking about, isn't it great to be any sex that you want to be? Punitive responses to people of conviction, people of the Bible, people of the book. You know, I get so many people asking, what is going on? And I'm going to give you the answer to that. I want you to open your heart, if you would, because it's not my words, my opinions, my perspectives, or my editorial comment right now. This is what God says. In Proverbs 22, 28, verse 28, it says, "Do not move the ancient landmark at the boundary of the property which your fathers have set." Don't move the ancient landmarks. And I was reminded of that when I was perusing again my grandfather Pop-Pop's Bible. Died at 86, 11 children. My mom's the oldest of 11. 44 grandchildren. I'm the eldest now that my sister died. 123 great-grandchildren. 34 now great-greats. I went to his Bible. You know what I found? The thing is so worn out. It's got so many notes. I even found little pieces of paper with notes that he jotted down on it. And you know what? He was a person of the book. The book is the ancient landmark. The book is the ancient landmark. And when it says in Proverbs, do not move the ancient landmark, the boundary of the property, meaning what? Our culture, our country, which your fathers have set. Now, have we done that as a nation? Well, listen to this. In Supreme Court decisions rendered in 1962 and 1963, the inclusion of religious activities such as school prayer and Bible reading in major activities of daily student life in public schools was struck down. The ancient landmarks were moved. It was the first time in the history of the United States that any branch of federal government took such a stand, censoring religious activities long considered an integral part of education. This sudden restructuring of educational policies was precipitated by the court's controversial reinterpretation of the phrase separation of church and state as it relates to the First Amendment, which simply states Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibit the free exercise thereof. The court decided that the First Amendment includes a prohibition against including religious activities in public affairs, inviting skyrocketing numbers of lawsuits that challenge any presence of religion in public life. They moved the ancient landmark. The court has already delivered far-reaching decisions as well. Removing student prayer. Prayer in its public school system breaches the constitutional wall of separation between church and state. Engel versus Batali, 1962. Remove school Bible readings. No state law or school board may require that passages from the Bible be read or that the Lord's Prayer be recited in the public schools of a state at the beginning of each school day. Abington versus Shep, 1963. Number 3, remove the Ten Commandments from view. If the posted copies of the Ten Commandments are to have any effect at all, it will be to induce the school children to read, meditate upon, perhaps to venerate and obey the commandments. This is not a permissible state objective under the Establishment Clause, Stone versus Graham, 1980. Removing the ancient landmarks. Finally, remove benedictions and invocations from high school activities, all school activities. Religious invocation in high school commencement exercises conveyed the message that the district had given its endorsement to prayer and religion, so that school districts were properly prohibited from including invocations in any of the commencement exercises. Graham versus Central, 1985, Kay versus Douglas, 1986, Jaeger versus Douglas, 1989, and Lee versus Wiseman, 1992. You want to know why the country is in a mess? Because the ancient landmarks have been ripped away by a judiciary, the Supreme Court, who misinterpreted the separation clause of the Constitution. And it says in the Old Testament that when you sow the wind, you reap the whirlwind. And the whirlwind of school shootings and addiction and an unbelievable drug crisis in America and weak churches and accommodation and appeasement, all of that is the result of the systematic stripping away of the ancient landmarks, Jim, and we have no other explanation for what's taking place than we have assaulted the very heart of God and the commandments that he gave us.
Oh, that is so eye-opening, too, because most of us don't think about that being the landmark that's been talked about. But you're absolutely right, and we're doing away with it every day of our lives. Oh, that don't mean me. That's old. Let's rewrite that. He didn't really mean that. That's the kind of language we're getting from a lot of people.
Right, and Jim, the fruits, the bitter fruits of all of this are seen in every daily headline or social media feed. I gave a recent church radio program on Satan's plan to attack, assault, and destroy America's youth. And in that, I unpacked some of the realities. I'll give you one quick example. I mean, it's unbelievable. There are 14 best-selling video games that are out there today that have as the primary plot line that you're a demon trying to inhabit other people, that you're an evil entity trying to inhabit. Sad. 14 video games, here's the article, where you play as a demon. Demons are a dime a dozen in video games these days, whether it's as a terrifying foe or something you want to try to resist. Let me tell you what some of these do. In The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, she turns into a powerful witch attempting to inhabit the bodies of other people. That's a video game that children are playing. The teachers and staff, after the darkness swept through the school of Lit 2009, the students are there too. They're bored, and they're attempting to possess their teacher to change her. This is a video game. Little Big Planet 3. Early in the game, Newton opens the lid to the container that the Titans are sealed in. He ends up being possessed by all of the demons in the container, becoming the game's main antagonist, and in the end, things are violent and terrible. That's a video game that you can purchase.
And young kids, I'm talking young kids playing those games.
Yes. Here's another one. The title of this game is Lucifer Within Us. That's the name of the video game. It revolves around this. As the player is sent to investigate murders committed by people hiding the demonic possession in them, and you attempt to root it out. This is young children playing with demons, the demonic, the occult. Here's another one. Mass Effect has Reapers do this once they decide their nukes have failed. They implore demons to fill them so their fight can become more vicious. Jim, these are all things that are out there on the shelf, and even with the little, R or whatever it is, so many parents are using video games and PlayStations and the like to be a babysitter. To be a babysitter. And what they don't realize, and my church gets attacked, Jim, for this. We take evil seriously. We believe that evil is real. And we believe that demons can possess people. And you have to look at all you have to do is look at some of the behavior. Why in the world would anybody, this Uvalde shooter, months before, people said they saw him walking around with a sack full of dead cats that he killed, it appears.
Wow.
Why would somebody do that? That's not normal. That is a possessed
possession
person. And we've got to come to understand that when we strip away and we take away and we blow up the ancient foundations, God's word, which is alive and active. It's sharper than any two-edged sword. When we do that, actions have consequences. 63 million aborted fetuses have consequences. I've said many times before, the blood of those fetuses, the screams and cries of those fetuses, cement curses on this nation. God doesn't look with indifference. He didn't with Baal. He didn't with Moloch. He didn't with all the child sacrifice that took place. We are no different and no better than ancient kingdoms that, because they wanted to appease gods, would take children and throw them in the fire, believing that that demonic sacrifice would somehow appease them. We're no different. For ease and convenience and a lack of personal responsibility, we've had millions and millions of babies that have been killed. And I want to make sure this is heard. We cannot, as Republicans or conservatives, be anti-abortion and pro-life, and not be pro-life in giving substantial options for mothers. If you're angry about abortion, you better be angry that we're not giving enough help to moms that want to keep the babies.
Yes.
And so churches need to stand up and suit up and show up and provide shelter and care and support, so that some 16-year-old or 15 or 14-year-old doesn't think the only choice that they have is to terminate a life. I have very little patience for people that are pro-life and are very loud about that if they're not pro-adoption, pro-foster care, pro-practical ways to support the lives of women who find themselves, in many cases, the most difficult place they've ever been in life.
And pro-supporting these agencies that do try to do those things.
Exactly. If you can't do it directly, you can financially support organizations. And Jim, maybe sometime in the future we'll showcase some of those and come up with, on a My Great America with Jim and Butch, a practical way, 4 or 5 practical things anybody can do as we anticipate the overturning of Roe v. Wade. It's not a time for any of us to be faint-hearted. It's not a time for any of us to feel like there's nothing we can do, Jim. It's just not.
We have a great organization here locally called Hands of Hope. They do a fabulous job helping young girls recognize that motherhood is a valuable thing and that child inside her needs to be saved. And they do a tremendous job of that, and I'm proud of it and support them.
Right, and of course WCAB historically has been such a strong, almost a de facto media voice for many of these organizations. So, folks, as we end today, look, sometimes, Jim, I get up and I have a little bit of preach in me, and that was today. It was in my heart to help people understand we've had a systematic court redirecting and redesigning of what this country's all about. When you move the ancient landmarks, you're going to get the tsunami of doubt, violence, unbelievable evil, and that's what's taking place. I want to end on, not that it's been a negative note, it's been a sobering note, but I want to end on a little positive note here with the last 2 minutes that we have.
Sure.
I love Tony's. I know he's an advertiser. You know, Tony's the produce stand there.
Right.
I go there a couple times a week. I love okra, too, and that separates me from some friends who think that okra is a terrible vegetable.
I love okra.
I love okra as well. I even like it when it's squishy and boiled and kind of slimy.
I like it fried.
Okay, well, some people like anything fried. But you know what I do love, and I've cut back on it and lost a few pounds, and I'm grateful, but I love that they have a relationship with a baker that's in Green Hill who's out of the Mennonite community. And I love the Amish, and I love the Mennonites. My mother's up in Lancaster County, as a lot of people know that have listened to the program. So we're going to have a giveaway today. This is really exciting. I only have one. It's an Amish community cookbook. This is powerful. You know, I set it out there in the lobby, and all the WCAB staff was looking at great Amish recipes, Mennonite recipes.
By the way, that banana nut bread you just opened to there is fabulous.
Yes, absolutely. So we're going to give this away to somebody. So, Jim, with the 1 minute that we have left, what number should they call and what caller will it be?
Let's take caller number 5 at 287-3356, 287-3356. Caller number 5 can get this book, and I hope the ladies listening will pick up on that. Caller
Discover
number 5.
real comfort food with these authentic country recipes. It's unbelievable. I'm telling you, I even try my hand at cooking sometimes. Yeah, so the Amish Community Cookbook, that's going to go to caller number 5 here today. The phones are ringing off the hooks, and it's a blessing to be with you. I was thinking that this morning. When I roll into this little hovel we call WCAB, It is such a joy, Jim. I'll let you be the keeper of the cookbook.
We'll get
Don't move the ancient landmarks. Get into your Bible. Find out what God has to say. Don't just go to Sean Hannity.
Let's look forward to another week, another program next Tuesday.
Excellent. God bless America.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05.